On today's show, from the Collins Kettle Club, please welcome the gold standard herself, Goldie Collins.
Hi, Mike. It is so good to see me. I'm Goldie Collins, the top dog at Wow Women of Wrestling, and I'm here today on the Mike Rand Show to give you all things Wow.
On today's show, she's from the Collins Kennel Club. She is the gold standard herself. From Wow Women of Wrestling, please welcome Goldie Collins. Hey, Goldie, how are you?
Oh, I'm fabulous, Mike. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Of course. I mean, it is your honor and privilege to have me here, but I have to admit, I'm a fan of the show.
Thank you. And I'm a fan of yours. And I'm so excited because you have a huge match this weekend. I just want to let everybody know what's going on this weekend on WoW Women of Wrestling. So, Collins is going to team up with Katarina Jinx again, Animal Instinct, and they're going to have a rematch against the Fierce Sisters, Foxy and Roxy. Plus, also in action, the newly formed alliance of Reina Del Rey, BK Rhythm, and Gigi Gianni. They're going to take on the Mighty Mites, Sugar and Spice, as well as Kita Rush in a trios competition. Also in trios action in another rematch, Genesis is going to be teaming up again with Fury and Sylvia Sanchez as they take on Chantilly Chella, Hola Dead, and Kaliki the Island Girl. And in the main event, Samantha Smart is going to cash in on that promise from David McLean for the Class Master to challenge the Beast for the WoW World Championship. So you won't want to miss it this weekend, guys. I mean, it's
It
going
is
to be a heck
exciting.
of a show.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk to Goldie in a little bit about that match coming up this weekend. But first, Goldie, this is your first time on the Mike Rand show. So I have to start by asking you, how did you get started in wrestling and what led you to WoW?
Absolutely. I've always been a competitor my entire life. I've always tried to win and be successful at everything I do. So anytime there's a new venture that comes my way, if it clicks, it clicks. And I just become obsessed with it. That's sort of how wrestling fell into my lap most recently. However, it's been an invisible string most of my life. When I was young, I remember watching TV, and before the show I wanted to watch was on, there was wrestling. And so I would always catch the end of wrestling. And I remember watching it and being like, wow, this is so interesting, but it wasn't really something my family consumed at the time. And then I got a little older and in college, all of my friends were lifelong wrestling fans. And so I became enamored and I thought I could do that if the opportunity ever arose. And then shortly down the line, the opportunity did arise. And I found WoW, or I should say, WoW found me, really. And it was kismet. I fell absolutely in love with the sport. And I think it's a great way to show exactly how wonderful and talented I am.
Awesome. Now, when you watched wrestling growing up, was there a particular show that you watched, or were there any wrestler that you really liked, or was your role model that inspired you to pursue it?
Yeah, I have lots of folks that I feel like I've taken bits and pieces of throughout my career thus far and said, these are folks I want to emulate. However, some of the OGs that I really admire are actually some of the original Glow women. I was a huge fan of Roxy Astor and Tiffany Mellon. But additionally, since coming to WoW, sort of have this whole catalog of heroes that came before me has been really inspiring. And Terry Gold does have a fabulous name, so I have to throw her into the mix.
Yes, Terry Gold. Well, she's from my hometown, so
Oh, good.
that right there already says that she's wonderful.
Yeah, incredible. Oh, so did you know her prior? You knew
I
her?
actually didn't. I didn't. I did speak to her here and there when she was in WoW, but I did not know her prior. But I do know where she went to middle school. I do know where that
Yeah.
is.
How
So that's
cool.
pretty awesome.
Yes.
So also I want to know, how is it like being part of WoW and the CBS family?
It is fabulous. Being a part of the CBS family is a dream. I drive by the studios every day, being an LA local, and I just envisioned someday being a part of something at one of the studios, in CBS being the studio that I've been able to create this relationship with is wonderful. Being a part of WoW is life-changing. It is one of the most empowering things I've ever been a part of. It really puts women at the forefront of entertainment, of sports, uh, of the spotlight. And I think that we are more than deserving of that. So I think WoW is one of the most incredible families and communities that I've been blessed to join.
So before WoW, you have no experience in wrestling before WoW, correct? This was your first actual wrestling. So you were
Absolutely.
trained, so you were trained here at WoW. So were you trained by Selena Majors?
I was trained by Selena Majors, the real deal herself.
Yes. So can you tell me what it was like training and did you have any difficulty with any moves or was there anything that was real easy for you to grasp onto?
Well, things tend to come easily for me. Let's be honest. I am Goldie Collins, the gold standard. So while things often do come easily to me, I think that sometimes I have a hard time kind of understanding where I fall in the mix. Because it came easily, I was sort of like, oh, should this be harder? Should I be, you know, a bit more like concerned? Just because I sort of got into the ring and felt at home. And so it was that imposter syndrome, I think, at first that was challenging. And then being able to say no, that this is exactly who I am. And I'm the same whether I'm on a stage, in a ring, in a dog park, or, walking down the street. So training was definitely grueling at the beginning. They really get your butt in shape. I'll tell you what, Selena is, she's, I get the reputation now. But she's also such a mentor and creates a safe space and an open space for people to try things and be able to really dive into the sport and fall in love.
Yep. And speaking of training, now you're a trainer yourself because you
I
trained some award-winning dogs, correct? So I
it's
have to hear about this. So tell me about that.
Well, I have the best steed, the best companion, if you will, Alexander the Grand. He is a 7-year-old golden doodle. He is about 120 pounds and just a ball of love. He has won every competition from cutest dog to having the most fabulous coat. So if there's a competition, he's entering it, he's winning it. And not just that, he's very humble. When you meet him, he will give you the same love as if he were just any normal dog, not even a superstar. So he's I mean, the ego it's not there. He's such a kind and wonderful creature.
And what are some of your other favorite types of dogs?
Oh, other types of dogs. I love dogs. I love Italian greyhounds and greyhounds of any kind. The runners, oh, they're beautiful. The poodle breeds of any kind. I obviously have a golden doodle, which is a poodle mix. I think poodles are lovely and sweet, and I just love their hair. They're fabulous.
Now, did you have any other types of pets growing up?
I did. I actually came from a cat family, which I think explains the connection to Katarina Jinx. I surprisingly, you may or may not believe this, Mother Golden, my mummy, didn't have dogs, didn't allow us to have dogs growing up. We traveled a lot and were very active in our lives. And so we only had cats. So when I became adult and went out on my own, one of the first things I was sure of was finding my companion. So, being a dog owner and a dog mom was a lifelong dream, if you will, that came to fruition as well.
Yes, because they're definitely very different to raise, but that explains, your connection with Katarina Jinx there. I will say
Mhm.
I've never had either one. I've never had a pet, believe it or not.
Oh,
Because too, part of me, if I had to choose, all right,
all
I
right.
I do love dogs. And
Hmm.
I have, I have friends who have dogs, and I love their dogs. Their dogs love me more than the owners sometimes. There was this little dog that it was a puggle that I used
Oh,
to bring for a walk with me, and they're really good, especially for hiking. You want exercise, you get a dog, they will push you to the limits. And I would go hiking with this dog. And when I brought her back to her apartment, right, I had the key and the owner wasn't there, and I would leave the dog, back in the apartment. It was so
sure.
heartbreaking because the little girl, you can feel the scratches against the door, and she's like whimpering. She's like, and I'm like, it's heartbreaking. It's like, this is why I can't have a dog because
Oh,
she's missing me when I go. It pained me to leave her,
I
but
understand.
she was definitely so much fun to have.
Yes, they're huge responsibility. I am very, very, pro, like, take it seriously if you're getting a pet. They are a child. They are to be like cared for and loved. So, good on you, I think, to recognize that maybe you weren't suited for a pet.
Yeah, I'll just, take them every once in a while for a walk. I'm good with that.
Exactly. It's like an aunt uncle thing. I understand.
Yeah. Now back to cats. Let's talk
Mm.
about Katarina. What's it
Let
like teaming up with Katarina Jinx to form Animal Instinct?
She is a ball of fun. I love Kitty. She gets me, in a way that the other wrestlers don't. And it is that animal instinct that brings us together. We have taken on competitors that are twins, that are sisters, such as the Fear sisters that we faced, and will be facing again. And we've faced folks that have these like unbreakable bonds, but they don't seem to be closer or have as deep a connection as Kat and I do. And so I think it's just this animal person aura that we have sort of given off and latched onto in one another. And we are pack animals. We work together. We are loyal, obedient. And she's one of the greatest companions I think I may ever have. I put her right up there with Alexander in my book.
Yep. And you guys have had some great matches together, as well as in singles competition as well. Let's talk about some of the singles matches you've had first. Now, your debut match was against Candy Crush. So tell
Yeah.
me what it was like going out into the ring for that very first time in front of the audience. Did you have any nerves? How excited were you? And how was it like going up against Crush?
Absolutely. Going into my first match, I had some nerves, but I felt confident in my training and what I had learned up to this point. So I really walked out there with excitement and sort of that confidence, like I said, that was just radiating and carried me through. And I look back at that first match and it was so special because I had worked so hard for it. There were so many people there to celebrate and, honor the fact that this was a new journey I was taking. And I look back with nothing but love and respect. I think I won that night personally.
Yep. And then another person you faced was Adriana Gambino. Tell me about that match.
Adriana Gambino is a competitor. I like her style. I do. I would like to see a rematch with her someday. I'm interested to see what they're doing with the alliance. I've, just caught them in the distance, but I won't be interfering. I'll let them do what they need to. Adriana, though, very fabulous. I love her look. Interested to see where she goes.
And then another person you faced was Hola Dead.
Holla Dead. That creature. I'm still uncertain how I feel personally. Um, David knows how I feel about it. I will say she may be one of the toughest competitors I've stepped into the ring with. I have never been pushed to a limit quite like with Holla Dead. She makes you feel every single hit, and you go home feeling it. However, I think one on one again with her, things might end up differently. I don't know. I'm open to it.
And then you also faced the Beast, who's making her return this weekend.
Oh, the beast. Beastie, beastie. Well, my offer still stands with the beast. If she's interested in being trained by someone like myself in the obedience and in the way that I train my creatures, well, I would be more than willing. For now, I wish her luck. Seems like something's going on. I'm really not sure what. I'm looking forward to seeing her though this weekend because things are strange.
Yeah, something's definitely going on there. And something
Yeah.
that's definitely going on as well is some sort of relationship between Pep Riley and Chainsaw we've noticed recently. So you faced Pep Riley in the ring. So tell me about that.
Have faced Pep Riley. It's been a moment since I've crossed paths with her. However, she seems to be sort of looking around for something. I think she's desperate without coach, obviously going on with top tier and her other friends moving on. I think that she's sort of grasping at straws. So I'm interested to see what's going on with the chainsaw of it all. I wouldn't mess with that creature personally.
Now, another tag team that you went up against, who
Hmm.
is not a tag team anymore, are the Mother Truckers, Holly Swag and Big Rig Betty. So tell me about your matches with them.
They, when it comes to instinct, they had some of the best. That mother-daughter instinct is different. However, I did start to see how they were cracking when we faced them previously. So the fact that we are now seeing such a divide amongst the family is, well, to be expected. I think Holly's really going on her own journey, and Big Rig's just gonna have to let her fly away from the nest.
And you also faced a few times Sugar and Spice, the Mighty Mites. Tell me what it was like working with those high flyers in the ring.
Those mighty mites, they wear me out. I have never been more exhausted than like they just run circles around me. They're so quick, they're so little. I feel like there's more of them than there are when we are fighting. It's like there's five of them, not just two. I wish them luck this weekend against whomever they're facing. I have, I don't know. The Mighty Mites, I'm opening up my opinion. I'm opening up my training for them, the mites, the mice, if you will. Mhm. But they don't seem to respect me, so I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see.
And then a few other teams that you wrestled as well were the All American Girls, as well
Mm.
as Chantilly Chella teaming with Hola Dead, who you faced in singles competition, as well as Aussie, Princess Aussie, and Tormenta. What was it like with those teams?
Those teams are all made up of incredible veterans in the industry. I think that they all have great wins and tragic losses under their belts. I think having faced each of them in a tag team match at one point or another, I learned something and I've taken it away, and I look forward to meeting up with them again because I don't intend to lose again.
Now you had a big win against the Fierce Sisters, Roxy and Foxy. So tell me what it was like wrestling them, and then you're going to have a rematch this weekend with them. So I want to know what strategy do you have going into this match, knowing that you've already beaten them?
Absolutely. A couple weeks ago when we faced the Fierce Sisters, Katarina and I were really in sync. It felt like those two, however, were not quite on the same page. It just kept seeming like, missed cues, not being able to talk to one another. I don't really know what was going on with them. But Katarina and I We really work together. And so I'm looking forward to this rematch so that we can solidify that Katarina Jinx and I are going to be the top contenders for the WoW Tag Team Championship belts. And the Fierce Sisters will continue to dance, I guess. I don't know.
Now, speaking about those WoW Tag Team Championship belts, Miami Sweet Heat currently holds the titles, and they've held it multiple times. What are you two going to do to take those titles away from them?
Yes, the four-time tag team champions, the Miami Sweet Heat Girls. They are an interesting question for us because we've not yet faced them. I don't quite know what to expect in the ring, frankly, but when it comes to the twin thing, we kind of know how to adapt. So I look forward to stepping in the squared circle with them. I think it'll be fun, and I look forward to taking the titles off their hands.
Now, do you also have your eyes on the WoW Championship?
Absolutely. I am not turning down any opportunity for a title in this company. I am looking for individual titles for myself. I am looking for the tag team championship with my tag partner, Katarina Jinx. But I am also open to the trios. If we have any superheroes, like I said, that are interested in joining us, my training is available. I am open and interested. So consider nothing off the table.
Now, it can be hard to make friends in the wrestling game because you never know who you can trust. But my question for you is, if you were having a Friendsgiving, considering that Thanksgiving is right around the corner, which WoW superheroes would you invite over?
That's a great question. I would, of course, have Katarina Jinx over. I would be inviting the class master and Samantha Smart because I just know that they would bring something delicious. Additionally, Glitter, Gloria Glitter, I would invite her. She is a great time at parties. I love that girl. Let's see, who else would get an invite? Invite list is very short for us. I'll throw Beast an invite because I'm interested in what she's got going on. I think she'll turn me down, but I can always say I'm the bigger person then.
Who would you like to wrestle in WoW that you haven't gone up against yet?
Hmm. This is interesting. I I'm intrigued by that new girl, Ashley Blaze. I'm intrigued by the other new girls, Xena Phoenix and Valentina. I'd be interested to see how any of those competitors stand up to the gold standard, you know? But additionally, I'm interested. Hear me out. I think I'd like to take Miss Holly Swag in a singles match someday.
That would be very interesting, especially if the Fab Four were outside the ring as well.
It's true. I don't know. They're tricky, but if I could have my kitty there, well, I don't know if I'm concerned.
Okay, and now it is time for the lightning round. I'm going to ask you a couple questions and you tell me which one you prefer.
All right.
Chess or checkers?
Checkers.
Indoors or outdoors?
Outdoors.
Would you rather know the painful truth or a
Mm.
comforting lie?
Oh, the painful truth.
Would you rather be the smartest person in the world or the richest person in the world?
Hmm. I'm gonna say the richest.
Reality TV or dramas?
Reality TV, baby.
Would you rather be at a beach house or in a mountain cabin?
Oh, can it be a beach house and a mountain cabin? Let's say beach house.
Would you rather be meme famous or commercial famous?
Commercial famous.
Rainstorm or snowstorm?
Oh, snowstorm.
Would you rather create the big idea or would you rather fine tune the details?
Create the big idea.
Would you rather never remember anyone's name
Oh.
or always mix up people's faces?
I oh gosh. Never remember the name, I guess. That's hard. That's horrible. Either way.
Yep. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
And what is scarier to drive through? A bridge or a tunnel?
Oof. Tunnel.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Mike.
Can you tell everybody how they can keep up with you?
Absolutely. You can find me on socials. I'm Goldie Collins across the board. If you look, you will find me. And then always catch us this weekend and every weekend on CBS. Our new episodes air locally at different times. So check your listings on wowie.com.
Yep, and you guys can find me on social media on Facebook and Instagram. I'm at official Mike Grand. On X, I am Mike Grand.com, like the website MikeGrand.com. And on YouTube, you can follow me at the Mike Grand and at official Mike Grand. Plus, I'm also on Apple iTunes and SoundClouds. Thank you again for joining us here today.
Of course, Mike. Thank you for having me. Like I said, it was your honor.
You're welcome. And thank you guys for watching. And we will talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.